Hey everyone, it's Chris Loud. I get a lot of questions about acrylic skins. So in this video, I'm going to go over what acrylic skins or acrylic peels are. I'm going to go over how I make them, how I use them, and how I store them. And at the end of the video, I'm going to go ahead and show a quick demo, just a quick, simple demo with one kind of fun way to use acrylic skins. So basically, acrylic skins or acrylic peels are just thin layers of dried acrylic paint that you've peeled off of a non-stick surface. You can get some great textures in there, great colors. They can be used for mixed media, collage artwork. And like I said, one of the things I really like these for is texture, but also adding a kind of a burst of color. So I have a couple of non-stick palettes. So this is one by TriArts. I'll leave some links in the description for all these items I'm talking about. And this was my first palette that I got. I had no idea it was non-stick, but this is where I first started peeling off acrylic skins, and really figuring out that I can utilize these for some interesting projects. So I'm going to show you just real quick on these how I peel them off. One thing that you do need to remember is to let some of the paint kind of build up a little bit. So I'll peel a little of this off and kind of show you how thick this particular one is. I'm really getting a lot at one time, which is always really nice. I will usually do several paintings on one palette and let that build up. The nice thing is with these, it's not just what you're seeing that you're peeling off. So this is the side that I peeled off as it was on the palette, but I can flip it over and then you get a whole nother set of colors from underneath. This is going to be a great one to utilize. So I'll put that down against the white so you can see the colors a little bit better. I really like how that looks on the back side, and actually I can see using this side as well. So you can see on my other palette here that I've got some areas where it's very thick. I usually don't let it get this thick, but what I will probably use this for and hang on to it for is for texture. Before maybe I start painting, putting a background, my background painting down, I will probably fix this to a canvas and really start off with some great textures here. Now, when I say non-stick surface, as kind of a side note, something that I also use that works well is I use palette paper. Now, palette paper, you can't peel the acrylic skins off. However, you can still use this in the same way that you use the acrylic skins that were peeled off your palette. The one thing that I like about this that you can't do with acrylic skins is you can take this paper and you can just crumble it up. Just really get some good texture going there. So you can see right away that. So I'm getting a lot of different texture in here, and I can use that in a piece. So I love how that works with paper. And I've got another piece here that I'm just starting to work on, but I'll let that build up before I utilize that. And then wax paper is another one, and I don't have a full sheet of wax paper here, but I can show you what this looks like. And this will, again, you cannot peel it off the wax paper, but you can fix this just like you would the acrylic skins. And again, with this, very much like the palette paper, you can crumble that up and get some great textures. You don't have to do that. I just like to find all the ways I can to utilize this and get new textures with it. So those are really how I peel them off. So let's talk about how to make them. Okay, so making acrylic skins, make some of this aside here. I don't purposefully put paint down just to create the acrylic skins or acrylic peels. As you can see, I'm actually using my palette and building it up while I'm painting, and all the while knowing I'm using a nonstick surface that I can go ahead and peel this off and utilize this leftover paint. However, I know that there are a lot of people that will put paint down on a nonstick surface, smear it around, and get some great designs and then let that dry. I know there are a lot of people that do acrylic pours that build, or create, I shouldn't say build, create acrylic skins and acrylic peels, and they will have some really interesting designs. So you can do that if that's something you're interested in. I really like using this more for just using up all the paint I can and just finding ways to utilize all that extra paint. And I think you can get some really great, what word am I trying to think of here? Some great designs and great pops of color while using this. One thing I didn't mention is that if you use parchment paper, or I know in other countries outside the US it's called cooking paper, baking paper, I think more commonly. You can put, I've had some success using that baking paper, parchment paper, as a palette, very much like the palette paper. However, once that paint builds up, you can peel that off. So I have had some success with that. I don't use it that often, primarily because I have these palettes that I can peel it off. So, okay, so let's talk about how to use these, and really, you know, you can use acrylic skins in myriad ways. Show you a few examples, and I do have videos, I think, on most of the pieces I'm about to show you. So here's a abstract landscape that I did, and you can see the pops of color here, and this is all acrylic skins. You can also see that I've got some texture. Again, this is all from acrylic skins. So that's one, and I do have a video on that. I'll leave links to the videos in the description so you can check those out. And here is another one that I did. This is basically everything is acrylic skin with the exception of the sky and part of the path. Some of the path up here is acrylic skins, but you can see how thick this is. And it just kind of gives the illusion of mountains and kind of a flower-filled field or meadow. Again, another one that I have a video on, that the flowers themselves are paint, but a lot of the plants here are acrylic skins that I put down. Another one that has that basically I just use acrylic skins for the texture on this piece. So you can see there. And then I'll also show you one, yeah, my voice is cracking there. One that I used some paint from I think it might have actually come from this particular one too, that was on wax paper. So all the kind of more abstract flower pieces are acrylic skins or coming from paint from wax paper palette. And then these two pieces here are from a paper palette. Okay, so let's talk about storing. I use basically a big piece of cardboard and I kind of line it with sheets of nonstick paper or parchment paper, and then I lay down the acrylic skins inside of that. And I'll tell you that if you have acrylic skins touching each other, they will stick together. So you want to make sure that you're really kind of keeping an eye on that and putting a layer of parchment paper, baking paper in between each layer. So in this particular one, I have, I think, several layers here that I've been collecting. And even, you know, I collect small pieces, and these are great. You can kind of tear them, you can cut them. I've cut them with scissors. Really very versatile in how you can use them, how you can play with them. I'm sure there are a lot of different ways of using these that I have yet to play with. So so one thing that I think is one of the key takeaways from this is to make sure that you don't have the acrylic skins touching. When I first started using these, I actually put them in a coffee can. I just kept breaking off little pieces and putting them in a coffee can. And after about a week, I pulled it out and it was just a big block of stuck together acrylic paint, and you can't get them apart. So something to just keep in mind. Okay, so here's the fun part of the video, at least what I think is the fun part of the video. One thing I didn't tell you is what I used to fix the acrylic skins down on the canvas or the wood panel or the page, whatever I'm using. And I just use a matte gel medium. It's acrylic medium, so it works really well. And again, you can pretty much use any kind you want. I like Liquitex. It works well. But you can use Mod Podge or whatever you use to fix your collage paper down. That will work as well. So what I'm going to work on, I started working on this little project of doing a little few, I'm thinking like 3 or 4 fish on a page. And this fish is basically cut out of acrylic skin. So you can see it's just kind of a mix of different paint. And then I just went in with a pen and put down, you know, some details, an eye and a mouth and everything. So that's what I'm going to work on. And I'll show you kind of the fun part of this. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out here. Let me go ahead and grab this acrylic skin. So I've already made a cutout. And this is just on a piece of kind of cardstock material from a canvas I purchased, and then I also have the little cutout, and both of those will come into play. But I'm actually going to try and do the fish in a different direction here. But you can just start kind of moving. I already kind of like that, moving it around the acrylic skin and looking for maybe kind of a cool design for it. But I think right over here, that I kind of like that right there, actually. I like these kind of patterns it's giving there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. And what I'm going to do is put the cutout in there, kind of hold the place. I'm going to pull this off, and then I will take one of my X-Acto knives here, and I'm just going to cut that out of the acrylic skin. And I feel pretty skilled with an X-Acto knife, but not skilled enough to go this fast. So I figured, so you didn't get bored, I would speed this part up. But I have used scissors doing this as well. So use whatever you have that works for you. Okay, so I've got this one cut out, and like how that looks there. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a little brush here, flip this over, and that's pretty cool too right there. Get a little of this gel medium, and I like to I'm pretty sloppy with gel medium, and a lot of times when I'm using this for collage, you know, this dries clear, so I don't really mind if I kind of get it all over the place. But on this particular one, I'm going to go ahead and kind of paint it on a little bit, and then use this palette knife to get under it, and figure out the placement of that. I'm thinking about right there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Again, this is kind of just a sketchbook kind of play thing. I'm going to take my catalyst wedge and just kind of press down a little bit. Make sure I get all the pieces down. All right. So I think before I actually add any details, I'm going to go ahead and do one more. And I thought I would show you what it would be like if I used this this paper here from my paper palette. So get my mat here again. And I'll put that down. And I'll do that the same direction, I think. And just start kind of moving it around. Yeah, this has such a wide variety of colors on it. Give me a lot of choices. I actually kind of like that. Or this kind of lighter one too. Flip it around. That's kind of cool. A little different than the other ones. I think I'm going to go with that. I like the way that looks. All right, so I'll cut that out and come back and we will get this on the page. Okay, so I have both cut out and both are fixed now to the sketchbook, and it's time to do a little bit of detail work, which we'll do with a 0.1 and a 0.5 liner pen, and we'll see what we can do and make these work. My concern here right now, even though I like this dark area, is using these black pens. I don't think the black pen is going to show up on this, so I'm going to have to figure something out for that. But with this one, I think I'm going to have a lot of luck with that. So I just started out with this pen and putting a very thin outline around the acrylic skin just to help pull that forward just slightly. And then just started working on a few kind of minor details. So I went onto Pixabay, which is a free image site, and was just looking for a kind of a sardine-like fish, just a thin, small fish that I could use as kind of a loose example. I didn't want it to look exact. I just wanted something that gave me some of the details of a fish, so I could get a few of the fins right and things like that. So just something to play with. So it's a great site if you are looking for some free images to use in your art. You can definitely go on there, and then really just spend a few minutes going through and just trying to get a few little details to kind of help that fish kind of come forward. And here I'm using a black water-soluble color pencil and just putting that down, and then taking a small brush with some water to try and create a little bit of a shadow, just to give it a little hint of a three-dimensional shape there. But didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on form or anything like that, but just I figured shadow would kind of anchor that and give it a little bit more to go off of and help that kind of I don't say jump off the page like a fish, but kind of come off the page a little bit more. So it was just a fun, quick exercise to play with. Okay, so here's the final piece. You can see you've got the details on these two fish. I think they all work together real well. Again, just a fun little project with acrylic skins and acrylic pills. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, more tutorials, art demos, challenges, and prompts, feel free to subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments about acrylic skins or any other painting questions, feel free to leave those in the comments. And thanks for watching, and keep on painting.